Saturday, July 7th, SBR Sports Picks. Here we are today on another Saturday edition of the Closing Lineup. Your host today, Donnie Rightside, along with my partner crime, as always, Mr. Jeff Nadeau, the big man on campus, will be in here in just a few moments. Welcome in. It's Saturday. Large baseball card here. Obviously, we got some soccer going on right now. A doubleheader today as we close in. And I don't know, I guess, Jeff, they call it maybe the Final Four or the last four in soccer, whatever it is. But we'll find out sooner than later who that's going to be after the two games today. A lot of fun to go on, Jeff. One of my favorite shows, nice and loungy here on the Saturday. And again, it's about 80 degrees outside on the East Coast, low humidity today, finally breaking up that heat streak. But we're going to bring the fire today, big man. What's good, man?
Good, Donnie. How are you?
Hey, no complaints out there. I know you're down the shore and getting a nice, I couldn't believe it. Woke up early, had to walk the dog as usual. And it was a nice, calm day outside, Jeff. Had a nice breeze, low humidity. Couldn't even believe I was in New Jersey.
Yeah, the humidity is kind of dissipated. It's very nice. It's a little breezy down here, but yeah, this is as far as summer's concerned, this is going to be the tip-top weekend of the season. I mean, last weekend it was very hot, very humid, as we know. Yeah, it's very low humidity, nice weather. Couldn't ask for any more.
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff going around. We'll take a quick a quick look back at what happened yesterday in Major League Baseball. A lot of high favorites we're seeing, Jeff. And the one interesting thing that you usually can hold on to was, until after the trade deadline, late August, September, where you see the 300s creep up, the 325s, the 280s. Jeff, it seems like the haves and the have-nots are already there and approaching us, and we're not even at the All-Star break. Multiple minus 300s yesterday, multiple minus 300s today. The value in Major League Baseball, hard to find at these times.
Yeah, I mean, on one of my locals, the Red Sox were minus 415. So, I mean, you're laying 1.5, you're laying 245 on that. I mean, just dreadful stuff. But, yeah, it's funny. I think the general thing is when Chris Sale pitches, take the under. Last night was not a prime example of that. They gave him a ton of run support. Game goes over. Boston, you could have laid 3.5. You would have got the job done. But, yeah, I mean, you look at last night. I mean, that was a big line. Houston was laying a big number. The Nationals were laying a big number. I mean, it's that time of the year, Donnie. I mean, that's what it's going to be. I mean, that'll continue throughout the summer as they're not going to give away free money. You look at, Donnie, the World Cup. Prime example of the World Cup is with odds makers kind of changing out what they do. I mean, the first half draw anymore, you can't bet and get plus money. I mean, you got to lay money to bet the first half draw. They're not getting beat anymore first half draws. So they have to change things around. That's how they make money. But here's, Donnie, two things I know. One of which is I need a haircut badly, but I can't go home. I'm here. Here's what it is. B, when you see the whole world on a game, always go the other way, in baseball particularly. Last night, the whole motherfucking world was on the Dodgers. I saw everybody. Dodgers. Angels win. Great night. I know you had a winner. Great night.
Yeah, no, it was good. Had the Minnesota Twins. Yeah, I mean, Twins was the night before, but last night put out a nice winner on the Milwaukee Brewers. And only like me, Jeff, in my style. So you cap the game and you look at it and say, you know what? Freddie Peralta's been pretty good. Struggled in the first inning of his last start, but I think he could give you 5-6 decent innings here. And Fultonavich has been amazing. But the factor that you like to look at is say, you know what? The Milwaukee Brewers bullpen is fantastic. Well, to fast forward the story, Peralta outpitches Fultonavich, and the bullpen of Atlanta was better than the bullpen of the Milwaukee Brewers. 5-4 men on second and third with nobody out in that disastrous innings. Dan Jennings gets out of it there. Next inning, Jeffress comes in, who's an amazing pitcher as well. And then you get to the ninth inning, and it's lockdown city when you get to the Brewers closer. So that was a nice win, 5-4. It wasn't really a public fade. Line was around like 120, 125, 130, but a lot of public support on the Atlanta Braves, and rightfully so, Jeff. I mean, we talked about it yesterday on the show, waking up. You see Fultonavich getting like a plus 120, and you scratch your head immediately because you look down at what he's done over the past month and a half. 6 innings, 1 run, 7 innings, no run, 6 innings, 1 run. You figure, say, something's got to be down with that line, and just breaking down the lineup. So the Brewers lineup was awesome last night. Jesus Aguilar hit a ball, which maybe would have got to even Mars in that game, but a nice one to keep up, Jeff. But also a record-breaking night, which is always interesting because I always have my eye on the Phillies. Even if I don't obviously have a bet on them, I want to see them succeed. I want to see them win to see how they do. Obviously, that game started, I believe, 7:05 in Pittsburgh. My game started with Milwaukee an hour later, Jeff. My game ends in Milwaukee, and I still get about another hour's worth of a Phillies game. The longest game, Jeff, in 9 innings in history in Philadelphia Phillies yesterday.
Yeah, that was a long game. They put up a lot of runs in that one. Donnie, I wanted to ask you, did you see how the Angels won that game?
I did not see how the Angels won. I just woke up and saw the final score. I think, 2 in the bottom of the 9th?
They were down to their final strike with Kenley Jansen on the hill. Ohtani works a walk, steals second. Grandal overthrows second. He goes to third.
Mm-hmm.
David Fletcher hits a single, scores. And then who was it that came up? Oh, Ian Kinsler hit like a double. Fletcher went to third. He overthrows third. Fletcher scores and they win.
Oh man!
Puig overthrew third, and they won. It was wild, man. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, baseball of a lot of these sports, excuse me, get a lot of these heartbreaking finishes there. I've been on too many of those sides of heartbreaking ones where you figure like you have the win, down the 1 strike, some fluky stuff happens there. But that's Major League Baseball, Jeff. When you don't have a time limit on a game and it's down the strikes and outs, those can go for a while.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. But we flipped the page to today. We have a new group of games. This is it, Donnie. And this is the middle of the summer now. I mean, we're into July. I was listening, and Don, I'm a big Frank Sessa guy. I listen to Mike every day. Mike was talking yesterday about how when you get older, the days seem to go a lot faster. I don't know if you noticed that. It's July already, Donnie. I mean, I remember when it was just a Memorial Day, I feel like a month ago. It's already July. And before we know it, Donnie, we're 2 months away from NFL starting, under 2 months now. It goes quick anymore, man. It really does.
No, I always look at the month of July as football season because you're already looking like, Jeff, it's 7/7 right now, July 7th. In 2 weeks from now, Jeff, there are certain teams opening up training camp already in the NFL. Back when I used to work in my other life, as I always like to say, I looked forward to July because I knew the end was coming where that football surge was about to come in. And in that low 20s, July 21st, 22nd, 23rd, a lot of teams are starting to open up camps there. Rookies will be available, selected veterans, a lot of fun, but it's really getting close, man. It's good.
I mean, Donnie, I came here on June 17th, and it's already been it's been over 3 weeks already. I mean, I feel like I just came here. The World Cup was like just getting going that weekend. World Cup's almost over. I mean, life really flies by as you get older, man. Like I remember when I was a kid, I mean, the days like dragged. I mean, I couldn't wait till 2:28 to get out of school. Now you look at it, it's like, it's already going to be noon when we're done with this show. Day's half over, Donnie.
Yeah, no, monotony. Hey, when you get, we're in our set groove. We have a showtime that we do every day. You know when to do it. And again, our life is now 365, Jeff, in this business because every day there's something to cap out there. My wife always says, hey, you only go on the air in the morning for an hour. And I said, you do understand that it's a 7-day-a-week job all day long that I have to be attached to my phone. Women never understand that because they punch the clock, 9 to 5, come home, and they figure you're off. Why are you watching the game? Why is it 11:30? What was that noise coming from your office at 11:30 at night? Because I blew a game late or somebody, doubled in the gap and I didn't need it or got that last final hit and I clinched it there. She never understands that stuff. But, hey, it is what it is.
And I think another thing is, like, people also don't really get that, like, we do the show in the morning. Okay? You get up at 9, you do some prep for it. You do the show till 11. After 11, it's not like generally you just get off and then go about your day. Generally, you stay on and you do your handicapping. And a lot of the times I've been doing soccer shows from basically last August until basically now. I mean, I've been doing soccer. You got all sorts of different stuff. We will have a few days off coming up, though, boys. That's something down that we have planned, you and I, around the All-Star break, so we won't miss too much. But looking forward to that. That'll be nice. It's never good to be off the air, but we got to have some time. I don't think I've ever had a day off at SPR. I've been here for a long time. Happy 30th birthday. Settle down, SPR Forum.
Yeah, when is it? It's not today yet, is it?
I'm actually only going to be 29, not 30. But
What's the day? What's the actual day?
Tuesday, the 10th.
There you go. Yep, there you go.
So I'm looking forward to that.
In Atlantic City with the boys.
Yeah, I think you'll be around.
I'll be there.
Yeah, we'll see about Kyle Hamburg. I don't know if he'll be around. Maybe. I guess we'll see. But yeah, August 2nd, Canton. Exactly. You got that coming up. So once football kind of training camp gets going, Donnie, it's kind of it kind of flies by.
Yeah, no, you shift the focus there. But as you're just watching right now, I know there's tennis on as well, which again, I could come on here and be a fake and say I had Golbis today and I had Osaka in tennis, but that's not the way we get down here. But there is a good soccer game going on, Jeff. Sweden almost scores to open up the second half, about 54 minutes into the game. Still 1-0 England, Jeff. Are we parking the bus on this one? Are we getting an over? What can we anticipate from the final 40 minutes?
First of all, Jeff Slaughter, yes, we're definitely in. Donnie, I've told you about that Eagles-Saints game. Are you in on that or what?
What's the? Yeah, I have to look at some dates on that. But yeah, why the hell would I not be in on that?
Question. We're in on that. I got to tell you, Jeff Slaughter, one of the best people in the business. I spent a lot of time with him. He was very gracious when we were down in San Antonio. He's got a great bar and grill, Southtown 101, Donnie, best burgers in Texas. He was very gracious to us down when we were in San Antonio for the Final Four. He mentioned to me about the game in New Orleans. Yeah, I'm definitely in for sure. I would love to do that. Settle down, Nick Dial. I talked about that already. Yes. Listen, I don't let anyone else touch my hair. I was thinking about going home.
Get the Flowbee out, man. Get the Flowbee out. Get a quick trim.
I was thinking about going home yesterday, driving 2 hours home and getting a haircut, but I don't. Whatever. I'm at the shore. Fuck it.
Come on, head down on Asbury, get in one of those little shops and get your hair.
No. Settle down, Deidre Slime Corner. I'm 29, not 40.
Where's the Slime Corner at, by the way?
Yeah, I know. What is that? That's a good question. That is a great point. What is a slime corner? Like that's a great point, Deidre. What is up with that name? I've seen that name before. What is up with that name? Thanks, Hal. Appreciate it. I don't have a wife, Juan, but yeah, I probably would be. I know, Nick. I'm giving everyone shit. I would love to get a haircut here, but I'm not paying my barber $200 to come down here to cut my hair.
Fly him in.
Yeah, I was thinking about having him drive down, but he wouldn't do that. So, what else? Daughter changed my account name. Yeah, but what is a slime corner?
How does she have your password? What's going on over there? Damn it!
Yeah, I got to change that name.
Secretive about that, man.
It's like a Nickelodeon.
It's a good burner account name. It's a good burner account. You never know.
Slime? I don't know. All right, Donnie. Let's get back to.
Get a little MLB action here. Yeah, as we watch this soccer game fold down. And feel free in the chat box to scream out loud. Jeff has, I don't know what's going on with your computer over there, but all that reverb. But feel free to yell it out if somebody scores over there in the soccer game. We'll catch it and we'll get you a quick update. 901-902, Jeff, getting into the baseball card. 2:20 p.m. We're going to go out to Wrigley Field. Haven't checked the wind conditions in this one, but seeing an 8.5 and a 9 out there. I'm going to say it's not too windy at Wrigley Field. Who's the better pitcher here, Jeff, is the better question. Matt Harvey, who's been really good his past couple starts. Chyler Chatwood, the Houdini of baseball. Two things you can guarantee on today, Jeff. 5 walks in the first 5 innings out of Chatwood and 100 pitches in the first 5 innings. The question is it going to be 1 earned run given up Chatwood, or is it going to be 7 earned runs given up over Chatwood over the first 5 innings? If Harvey gets a good start here, Jeff, I think you might have a live dog. 35% are backing Matt Harvey here, and rightfully so. You're playing the Cubs in Chicago. Most people only remember the bad Harvey, but he's been much, much better over the past couple weeks, getting his pitching form back in order. 143, 145, it opens up. 145 across the board, despite a heavy favorite here, or a heavy ticket count there for the Cubs. I'm not into the Cubs today. I can't stand Chatwood. But if you do take this game, Jeff, to me, I actually would rather have a first 5-inning wager on the Reds than take it full game, because I want Chatwood one-on-one.
Donnie, do you want me to put headphones in if you're having?
No. Sometimes the reverb catches back like once every couple of minutes, where like I'm talking, I can hear myself talking in the background over there. But right now, it's fine.
Put headphones in. I don't mind. I don't mind switching it up here if I must.
Pop them if you got them.
Just bear with me here a second, boys.
On live television.
This is the great thing about the live shows.
Yeah. Watch magic happen right here with the technical difficulties that we have.
You hear me?
Gotcha. All right, yeah. Your thoughts, Jeff. Yeah. Cubs Reds.
Yeah, as far as this game, I'm not looking anywhere else but over. I mean, I think the over looks real good here. The Cubs have been murdering the ball lately. I mean, you look at the last 7 games, 8.3 runs a game, hitting over 354. That does not seem to be a good day for Matt Harvey. Matt Harvey has looked good. He's looked poor. I get a feeling he looks poor here. Cincinnati's been hitting the ball as well lately. 31 of 45 between these teams have gone over the number. Been a nice little run for overs with these two teams. I just feel like this has the looks of like an 8-6 type of game. I don't think we'll get the good Chatwood today. Like you said, I mean, Chatwood has 66 walks in 73 innings. I mean, over his last 3 games, he has 10 walks. He's had a problem with that all year. I don't think it's going to change here. 2 hot hitting clubs right now. Give me the over.
Yeah, no, I can see it there. And I think they're, it might be too easy to say it's the public dog, Jeff, but only 35% of the tickets are backing Harvey. The ones that you get nervous about are where, like, that public dog is 65, 70% going the opposite direction. Not a lot of line movement in this one, but again, it's hard for me to back. I know what Chatwood gives me. The worst thing you can do, sometimes, Jeff, if a pitcher just gets lit at the plate, the ball leading it over, his curveball is not breaking where it's supposed to be, slider doesn't have much action on it. But when you bet a game, you as well as I know, Jeff, when you watch it, it's the same thing you scream about in the bullpen. Just throw strikes and live with it. The fact that you're going to get, the first guy to ground out and then walk the next 2 guys does you no good. I can't be on Chatwood here. I'm going to take a look at the lineups. I know they're out right now, but I haven't had a chance to analyze them. But I'm certainly not going to be on Chatwood. Moving on, Jeff, 9:03, 9:04 day game here out in San Francisco. A 1 p.m. start out there, 4:05 Eastern. Martinez and Samardzija. Samardzija coming back off the DL, which is one of the key components that I can't stand. It's very hard to cap and get an understanding of, 1, how long they're going to go, and 2, how much in tune they are. Martinez seems to have shaken that post-DL stint doldrums that he's had. 77% are going to back him in the Cardinals. Jeff opened up at, where around to pick him, 104, 110, depending where he's shopping at. Heavy movement there now, 126, Jeff, in the favor of the Cardinals today.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of, Donnie, seen a lot of guys off DL stints come back and get crushed. Why do I have the feeling it's going to be the same situation here with Jeff Samardzija? Jeff Samardzija did not look good before he went on the DL, and I get the feeling he doesn't look good here either. Carlos Martinez actually has pretty good numbers in limited appearances against San Francisco. Like what the St. Louis team's been doing offensively lately. They've been hitting the baseball all of a sudden. I'm going to tell you, though, it looks like another pretty good over here. I don't know if Carlos Martinez is surely back. I still wonder about him. I mean, he's another guy that it seems like whenever he gets going a little bit, then he has one of those outings where he gives up 5 runs. I got a kind of a feeling this game goes over as well. Not a big feel in it, but over 8.5 looks okay here.
Yeah, what's interesting, Jeff, is I don't know. I'm going to assume this is Samardzija coming back, but in single A, he had 1 start, went 2.2 innings, and his ERA, Jeff, a stealthy 20.25. Looks like he had 4 starts in AAA, 17 innings overall, so not long outings, and a 5.29 ERA. We all know his 2018 stats, Jeff, a 6.56 ERA in Major League Baseball. So it's not even one of those things. Cueto was on fire, like an ERA of like 1 or less. He comes back and gets flamed. This is a guy that wasn't in good form, went on the DL, didn't have good form in minor leagues, and now coming back up to face a team that can certainly get after him. So you're right. It's one of those games where I'm not going to be a part of because I don't really know what I'm going to get from Samardzija here. But do you want to lay the number on Martinez? The one thing that's interesting, though, Jeff, is it looks like he's a very talented pitcher. We all know that. But it looks like he's finally back to form, maybe not worrying about that pectoral muscle so much. So if I'm leaning anyway in this one, Jeff, probably still going to be to the Cardinals. I don't know what I'm going to get out of Samardzija.
Yeah, no, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I would totally agree with you there. I'm not a big feel on it, though. I'm just kind of laying on the over.
Yeah, Philadelphia, the Battle of Pennsylvania last night. Looks like Philadelphia kicked Pittsburgh out of the state of Pennsylvania, just railed them last night. 9:05, 9:06. Philly's playing some really good ball out there. Arrieta is going to be on the mound versus Jameson Tyone. 64% are going to back the road team here, Phillies. You're going to get a lot of that, Jeff. When you see 17-4, 17-5 game the next day, you're going to see a lot of people say, whoa, bats are extremely hot. I'm actually the opposite type. We want to look at this game and say, you know what? Maybe there's some value on Pittsburgh. Tyone's the guy you probably want to bet on if you're backing the Pittsburgh Pirates. But Jeff, it's the same adage all year long. Outside of some short stretches out there, when you look at the Pittsburgh lineup, it's not a bad lineup on paper. But when you put that lineup in, there's not much power out there. there's a lot of bad swings on that team. There's not a lot to like about the Pittsburgh Pirates. But when you look at the lineup, it should be better than it is. I don't know if I can trust Taillon in this environment here, but here's the key again, Jeff. When you looked yesterday, you saw Fultonavich getting money. So you know what? Man, he can really hit. I might just take him plus money after they got waxed by the Brewers. Coming back in this game, you sort of scratch your head and say, I know Arrieta hasn't been in great form as of late, but, last game, 5 innings, 2 earned runs, got pulled after the 5th inning, ended up winning that game against the Nationals, but you're getting plus money from the Phillies. Does that scratch your head a little bit there?
Yeah, it does. I don't quite understand this. I mean, you look at Arrieta, he has been terrific in his career against the Pittsburgh Pirates. You faced him a lot when he was with the Cubs. Yeah, I don't really understand why I'm getting plus money here. The Phillies have won, 4 in a row to start the month of July. We know what kind of run they've been on. They've actually won 5 in a row overall and 7 of 8. So they've been in a great run. I mean, the Pirates have lost 5 of 6. Not really sure why they're laying a number here. Their pitching, Donnie, lately, the Pirates has been absolutely horrific. They've lost 5 of 7. Opponents down here hitting .335 and scoring almost 9 runs a game over the last 7. So this Pirate team has not been getting anyone out. Jameson Taillon has just been a middle of the hill kind of pitcher. Phillies have won 5 in a row against this Pirate team this year. I am scratching my head on why the Phillies are a dog here, but I'll rock with it. I think Arrieta, with the success he has, it's hard to ignore that against the Pirates. I'll go with them here, plus money.
Yeah, not a bad. Looks like some lineups are now leaking out there. That Reds lineup: Schebler, Barnhart, Votto, Jeanette, Suarez, Winker, Peraza, and Hamilton. So they do have their A lineup in there. If you take a look at the Tyler Chatwood-led Cubs, Jeff, Victor Caratini is going to get the start at catcher. So you're downgrading the catcher position. Obviously, we already know that Bryant is not in the lineup, but a decent one: Zobrist, Hayward, Baez, Rizzo, Happ, Schwarber, Caratini, and Russell in that. And again, I'm not really looking. I'll get a little bit deeper in that, but no way I'm going to be anywhere near Chatwood. But back to the Philadelphia Phillies, Jeff. Yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those games where 65% of you are on the dog, getting 114, 113. Could you fault yourself? You said, you know what? I'm just going to throw out there with the Phillies at plus money today and see where it ends up. The same way it was with the Braves last night. I can't fault you for that.
No, that's kind of where it is. I mean, I'm going to just rock with it. If you get beat here, you get beat here. But you're getting a Phillies team that's playing good baseball. You kind of rock with it. Donnie, I will admit I'm kind of involved right now with trying to get in on some of these live overs in these soccer games. Donnie, right now in soccer, you have friendlies going on,
Yes.
European friendlies. You have big teams playing a lot of bad teams. You have a lot of big score lines here right now. I'm looking at an under 7.5.
What, England? You're talking about England?
Yeah, England, Scotland, Ireland.
Is anybody at that game in England that are actually watching it, or are they fixated on the Three Lions or whatever they're called?
Well, I mean, look, the lineups are particularly soft. I mean, yeah, they're definitely focused, but listen, these teams love their side, so they're going to stick out and watch the games. But like I'm looking at Celtic right now; they're up 5-0. I'm looking at taking under 7.5. There's only about 30 minutes left. But that's just another story. I was killing it last night on the live betting, Donnie. I was betting a lot of futsal, soccer, all sorts of stuff. Donnie, I'm telling you, those late night shows, Gabe and I think we were 14-9 last night, not including a 3-0 futsal run. So we were making money last night.
Super degeneracy out there. Loose gun Phillies have been legit lately. I agree. Lloyd says, I would actually lean over due to Arrieta's road performance this year, and Taillon is Taillon. Now, when you look at that, last night it hit there. PNC Ballpark typically is not an over ballpark, but sometimes, Jeff, we like to talk about, can you take advantage of a certain pitcher? When you're looking at a really hot lineup, let's just say the Brewers or the Reds, they probably could take care of Arrieta. And again, I'm not on the under either way on this one. I'm just giving some thoughts on what I think is going to take place. With Jake Arrieta, when he's on, he's very good. But that Pittsburgh lineup, Jeff, they have the ability to say, all right, Arrieta, 5 innings, 6 earned runs in this environment, or 5 earned runs at PNC Ballpark. I'm not so sure they can do that. And then looking from a Philly side, yes, you get that bump, 17 runs, 18 runs, 19 runs, whatever the hell they ended up with last night. You're due to usually have a market correction. And also, Taillon is the best pitcher that the Pittsburgh Pirates have. But just breaking it down, the Phillies, we saw them struggle past couple, against a bad, starting pitching or caliber pitching with the Orioles at home in a hitter's ballpark, 3 runs, 4 runs in that environment. That's more likely the Phillies. But just my 2 cents on that. I don't really have a feel or direction on actually what's going to take place there. But just thinking about it, it's usually you have to be able to take advantage. Like, Jeff, we talk about Detroit, right? You know, we like to line up Detroit against lefties because they hit lefties very well. Well, I mean, if Chris Sale comes to town or something like that, it might change your aspect just a little bit. Just the matchups make the fight to me in this environment, Jeff.
Yeah, I totally agree. By the way, England scored. They're up 2-0. We didn't really mention that. But, Donnie, let me ask you quickly with the World Cup. We got one more game today. Yep. Every other game has been in full time. There hasn't been any penalties or extra time. That's kind of been interesting. The good teams are really kind of flexing their muscles here against, I'm not saying the bad sides, but, Belgium with obviously the upset yesterday, I guess you could say, but, England taking care of business. I mean, do you believe, Donnie, if Russia wins, you have to agree that there's something going on. I mean, they're not as good as Croatia. Croatia really should do the same thing England's doing here. Do you believe in the hijinks here with Russia?
Yeah, I don't really know how much of a side they were coming in because I don't follow soccer all that directly. But I don't know if it's because I know, like, when you look at remember the U.S. and Mexico, when the U.S. goes to Mexico, they can't win. When Mexico usually comes to the United States, they can't win. I guess there's something to be said about a home field or home pitch advantage in these type of environments because it's all slanted towards Russia. They have the fans there. They're in their home, country, so to speak. So I don't know how much to factor in the soccer other than just looking at what I know with the Mexicans and the United States teams.
Yeah, Pickford's going to win the Golden Glove, man. Pickford just can't, he doesn't let goals in, man, this guy right now. He's just on another level for England.
Better than Joe Hart, Jeff?
Fuck Joe Hart. I couldn't wait for Joe Hart to get the fuck out of here. I hated him. He's been terrific, man.
Keeping it moving, Jeff. 907, 908. Another interesting line here for me, Jeff. You're looking at Atlanta. It's going to start Sanchez on the mound versus Wilkerson. I believe I don't even think it has a start in Major League Baseball this year, but did come in for a little bit of mop-up time and got worked. 35% are going to back the Milwaukee Brewers in this one. Obviously, 65% on the Braves. Lines opens up, right around a pick 'em. Jeff staying at a pick 'em, -104, -105, depending on where you're shopping at. Over under 9 across the board. Both of these teams can hit. If you watched last night in that game, Acuna, however you want to pronounce it, left after running a ball out to first base that he got a single on, groin tightness, and that one's he's probably not going to be available. But there's a lot of bats in both of these lineups last night. Bullpens were used last night, and of course, with the Milwaukee side over the past couple nights, a little bit abused and used, to say the least. If I'm looking in this game, Jeff, obviously no lineups are out in this one. I'm probably going to lean more to the over 9 than do a side. But, Wilkerson is getting a pick 'em. That's a lot of respect for the Milwaukee Brewers as a team throwing this guy out and still having to pick him with the Braves.
Yeah, there looks to be like there'll be some runs in this game, I would think. But, yeah, you are right. You're putting – why is Aaron Wilkerson a favorite in this game? I don't really understand that. He's had good numbers at the minor league level, but – he's not been good at all at the major league level. You look at in, a couple innings. He's been horrendous. I don't know. This is a weird line to me. I lean Braves just because, I'd fade Wilkerson. Anibal Sanchez has been good enough. But you mentioned Acuna being out. That hurts. I would take Atlanta just because I think Anibal Sanchez has been pretty good. I think he's been an asset for them. And I don't know why Wilkerson's a favorite in Major League Baseball. I don't get that.
Yeah, if the closer Knebel pitches tonight for the Brewers, Jeff, that would be 4 out of 5 days that he's pitched. He pitched 3 straight games, had 1 day off, came in again last night, so he might be a little bit on the burner. But they have multiple guys out of that bullpen that they can use. But just one of those things to keep an eye on. Nothing hurts worse, Jeff. And I know you probably lost games as well, where you get to the 9th inning and they say, "Oh, like Sierra Anthony Dominguez is out, or Knebel's out, or Roldis Chapman can't pitch tonight. He's not available," and just get some guy that's not used to it. That is an awful feeling, but when your closer comes in, can save the day, it's good. That's just an interesting line to look at, same as we talked about a couple previous with the Phillies, though. Here's what how quick we're going to spend on this game. 909, 910, Wei-Yin Chen, the lefty, who I can't stand on the mound, versus Max Scherzer. Chris opens up a line 275. It's now bet to 355. Over on this game, 7.5, and that's really as far as I'm going to go on that game, Jeff.
Not so fast. I have a weird feeling that Don, let me ask you. At what point did the Nationals shit on themselves?
But they almost did last night. They were a heavy favorite last night and had a walk-off home run. The night before, they're down 9-0 before they won. So I get your point. Go ahead.
And what I'm saying is, you just hear me out for a second. I don't know if anyone knows, but Washington is 8-18 against left-handed starters this year, hitting 217. I mean, look, I know Wei and Chen sucks, and look, they'll probably bat him around here. I'm not telling anyone to bet on the Marlins here, but if I'm looking at a dog of this height, of this number, of this caliber, I'm never one to throw this kind of stuff out. I love Max Scherzer. I think he's a consummate professional. I think he's the best pitcher in baseball, probably. But I mean, this just has the feeling of a national shit on their hand kind of game. I mean, they don't hit lefties. I mean, we can't get away from that. If I had to take this, I would probably take a shot with +1.5. I get a weird feeling this is a 1-run win for Washington, but
yeah, again, plus money. Yeah, you're getting +1.5 plus money, man.
Yeah, I mean they could win 9-1 here. I mean, very seriously, and I'm not telling anyone that I would recommend them take the Marlins here. But all I'm saying is the Nationals are not good against lefties. It looks so obvious. A lot of these so obvious games have not gotten the job done. This looks like it'd be a 4-3 game. I got a weird feeling. Maybe taking 1.5 runs here at +145. I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean,
yeah, the optical illusion. The hardest part of it, Jeff, is the optical illusion. Betting against Max Scherzer or betting against Chris Sale. It's hard for you to be in that form and say, I'm just going to fade, one of the best pitchers in the game over the last decade. It's tough to do psychologically, but when you actually break it down, it doesn't take much. We've seen it, like even the Max Scherzer starts. What's Max Scherzer, Jeff? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is he the Nationals like 0-4, 0-5 in his last 5 starts, I believe, something like that?
Yeah, I don't think it's a guarantee. I mean, again, just because a team's laid a big number, I mean, are they really a team right now that you want to lay this kind of number with? I mean, how many people are going to put this into parlays? And Donnie, let's be honest. Like, you look at Thursday night, they come back from a 9-1 game. Okay, I mean, they wouldn't play well in that game. I mean, I guess they came back, so you got to give them respect. Last night, they almost blew it. The Nationals are just weird right now. I mean, this looks like a game where Wei and Chen gets crushed, but when you look at the numbers, I mean, the Nationals just haven't been good against left-handers.
Yeah, you're waiting for the bats to wake up. I mean, Jeff, look at Scherzer's starts. Let's go back to even May 30th. 2-0 win, 4-2 win, 2-0 loss, 2-0 loss, 4-2 win, 1-0 loss, 4-3 loss. All those close games because, sometimes, again, when you're talking psychology, you look at the Nationals and go, you know what? Let's get max 3 runs. Let's get max 2 runs tonight. We'll get an easy victory in this one, as opposed to if you have a rookie coming up who is going to get lit and be a bullpen game, your analysis of the plate is we better get this done tonight for 5 or 6 runs to even have a chance. But you're right, looking back at that track, but look, 4 out of 5 games, Jeff, that Max Scherzer has taken the hill, 170, 190, -275, -230. He already had it, Jeff, 6-10 on June 10th versus San Francisco, -300 loss. So it's in the cards, in the past, only in the past month or so.
And Donnie, on May 26th, Wei and Chen gave up 1 run over 7 1/3 to the Nationals. Ooh. So, I mean, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really get too involved in those games, but I see your point. And it's not uncommon to see a large favorite go down. But again, just betting against Scherzer at home is always a tough deal because what can you pencil in, Jeff? Even if he struggles, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 11 strikeouts. I mean, you could see it happening down the line. And I saw somebody with a comment out there, maybe first 5 innings is what you're looking at. The Nationals bullpen is not that good. Herrera's been lit up a little bit since coming over from Kansas City, but also keep in mind that Miami bullpen over the course of the year, over the past 45 days, they've actually been pretty good. So I don't know if the value would be on Wei and Chen straight up versus Max Scherzer, where maybe you can wear Scherzer out, maybe get that bullpen in the 8th and 9th inning to get an extra shot at it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, we're grasping for straws here, but
yes, correct.
Take a shot with it.
9-11, 9-12. Ross and Ray are going to get underway out on the left coast night. Late game, Jeff. 10-10 start, San Diego and Arizona. Ross got lit up his last outing. Robbie Ray, who I was actually on as a favorite in the last game, couldn't get out of his own way in the first inning, which caused them to lose that ball game. 64%, however, Jeff, are going to back Robbie Ray in this one. And look at this number. Opens up 65-70, now sitting at 195. Inner tops -200 right now for a Robbie Ray start. Is it just the fact we're waiting for Arizona to get underway at the plate now that they're healthy? Souza's back in the lineup, and we look at the Padres and say, they're on the road, and Ross got lit last time, so I expect them to get it again. I'm not interested in laying 200 with Robbie Ray on the mound. I'm sorry.
This is another head scratcher. I'm not really sure why Robbie Ray's laying 200 almost, at home. I mean, I don't know if anyone's aware, but Robbie Ray isn't good at home. He wasn't good there last year. He's not good there this year. 3 games. He's got an ERA at almost 8. He's got a WHIP at 1.75. He just doesn't good at Chase Field. I mean, how much of a fucking resume do you need? He doesn't get people out at home. Look though, San Diego, not a good team. Tyson Ross has good numbers against them though. He's been pretty good on the road. When I'm getting a number like this, I'm going to look towards the dog. Here's the thing though, Donnie. This could be a sneaky underplay, especially if you can get something out of Ray. Neither team is good against lefty-righty. You look at the splits. San Diego can hit lefties. Arizona can't hit righties. 8 might be a sneaky good number. If you can get something out of Ray here, I might look towards an under here. But I'm not looking to lay 180 with Ray. I mean, he's just not getting good at Chase Field.
9-13, 9-14, Baltimore and Minnesota. I mean, are we going to take them out in the field and just put a bullet in them pretty soon, Jeff, with the Baltimore Orioles? They just seem to, competing is not even the right word. It seems like Manny Machado shows up nightly at the plate. Not much going out elsewhere. Gausman versus Gibson. If you're going to get look, Gausman hasn't been that bad over the past couple starts. But when you look at betting Baltimore, you just see their road numbers. You see their ineptness, their listlessness on the road. You're now going up against Gibson. 63% are going to back Minnesota. And taking a look at this number, Jeff, opens up at 38, opens up at 40. Now seeing some numbers there as high as 158, 160 at Chris backing that team. Nice lineup in there. The one thing I do like is when the Minnesota Twins, Jeff, go up against right-handed pitching, they can stack lefties. And the lineup is out today, Jeff. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left-handed batters that are going to stack up against Gausman. Minnesota doesn't even have a great bullpen. Gibson's not a great pitcher. But when you're just looking at the lineup that the Orioles run out there daily, can you back them? Is there anything, even an effort that you can say, you know what, today's the day the Orioles are going to win? Because their starting pitching probably is going to be okay, but everything else usually falls apart.
Yeah, before I get into this game, Don, I want to shout out to the Sultan of South Philly, the Prince of Passyunk Avenue, the Mayor of Margate, College Chill, big-time winner last night, giving me Minnesota on the run line. Congratulations. Thank you, Chill. Donnie, you and Chill would be quite a good pair, I feel like. You and him would like each other. College Chill, the king of college football. We'll have to talk to him during football season. But he gave me Minnesota, and it was quite a good win. Listen, Baltimore fucking stinks. I mean, I don't know how else we got to say it. They're bad. I mean, you look at these numbers, Donnie. I mean, where do you start? I mean, they're 24-63 overall. They're 12-34 on the road. They're 14-43 against right-handed starters, down almost 30 units. I mean, I don't know where to begin. I mean, Buck's had a bad season. You feel bad for him because I think he's a better manager than this is leading on. He just doesn't have a very good side. They're 1-6 over the last 7. They don't hit on the road. They don't hit against righties. Gausman's been decent, I guess, though. I'm leaning under the number in this game.
Yeah, like when you look at the lineup and Machado rakes, so you just got to work around them. You know what I mean? Just pitch around them so he doesn't beat you. Adam Jones looks like he's aged, 25 years over the past 2 years. No longer that supreme athlete or even hitter anymore. You're just trying to work Tim Beckham in. He leads off, doesn't get anything done. Trumbo's hit or miss. He can have a nice run over a 4 or 5 game stretch, put a couple out of the ballpark. Chris Davis is an anchor in the lineup. Scope. Coming in, actually had 2 solo home runs the other night, but coming into the series hitting about 200. There's not much like about the Baltimore Orioles, but I guess if you're sharp, because only 36% of the public is on Baltimore, I don't know what you can actually do out of it. So 9-15, 9-16, we'll move it on there. But I guess the caption of this game is Baltimore stinks. And, if you pick them and they win, congratulations, but don't really know too much about it other than that, than just a perfect fade on the Baltimore Orioles on the road. 9-15, 9-16, Jeff, the Yankees going to strut out their ace on the mound. Luis Severino is going to go against Jay Happ, the lefty for Toronto. If you watched the game last night, you have a ton of runners left on base. And for some reason, the Yankees can't seem to score as well as they would like to. Obviously, they play in the hitter's ballpark in Boston. They play in the hitter's ballpark at Yankee Stadium. But going to Toronto slows down a little bit. They had multiple chances, just couldn't get it done. But they're a heavy favorite today, Jeff. Opened up at 185, 190. Now sitting at 2-1 on the road versus Hap. 71% of the tickets, 90% of the money on those New York Yankees, Jeff, to shake it out. Now, I want to ask you a key ingredient on this one, Jeff. We know, that lineup switches around a lot. But the one thing that we were sure of is no matter where Gleyber Torres was, in the 9-hole, Jeff, in the 5-hole, in the 6-hole, it was a great bat to have that can do damage at any time. He goes on the DL now, shakes it up a little bit. We already know Sanchez is on the DL, so other guys have to step up and do their part. Does that come into your factor? Or you just say, Jeff, dude, Severino's on the mound. They'll take care of it.
You're kind of getting to that point with Luis Severino. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. Jay Happ's an interesting character because Jay Happ is someone that the Yankees have considered going after in free agency. Could be a little bit of something that he can kind of showcase his talent. He hasn't pitched well lately, though. Jay Happ needs to get going. He's off a bad outing against Detroit. This Yankee team's not a guy you want to face when you're not pitching well. They crush left-handers. Yeah, it's hard to envision them not getting the job done here, Don. They're someone that's hit left-handers all year. Happ is in kind of a struggle right now, but Happ has pitched pretty well against the Yankees. We'll see if he can get it going. I don't have a big feel in this game. You are going to get 9 at-bats from the Yankees, so maybe looking towards a run line. With Severino at this point, it's something you just kind of say, you know what, automatic, let's rock with it. No, it's not cartoons, you fucking idiot. It's soccer. I don't watch cartoons. What the fuck are you talking about? I didn't watch cartoons when I was a kid, let alone today. I'm about as serious as it gets. It's fucking soccer, idiot. Mark Lewis back, unfortunately.
Jeff, the question is, why aren't you facing the TV? What's going on in this situation?
Because my plug's right here, and this is where I like to sit.
Turn around and watch it. Come on.
No, I don't want to watch it. I'm trying to concentrate on what we're doing here. I'd prefer being behind me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I have the TVs on in front of me, Jeff, but it's soccer, so I can pay attention to the show. I don't get caught up in the soccer match.
Yeah, and unfortunately, these fucking battery plugs aren't too long. They don't go very long.
Jeff, another interesting one. And again, let's turn back the clock because we all saw Matt Harvey. I even thought they might even DFA Matt Harvey, the Reds, even after that horrific outing versus San Diego Padres, but he's turned it around. One James Shields, Jeff. Last 4 to 5 starts have been pretty good. And here we are, minus 350 on the number for Charlie Morton and the Houston Astros. Look, I think the Astros are the best team in baseball, the most complete overall team in baseball, can do it all. Got bullpen, got starting pitching, got power, got speed, got lights out hitting, contact. They have it all down there. But James Shields has given some yeoman efforts, Jeff, over the past month, similar to what Matt Harvey's done, a monster number. Is this a game where you take a flyer on the White Sox? You say, yo, Donnie, the White Sox are just trash, man. You can't do that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Morton's been great. Yeah, I don't have much on this one. Big line. I'm not getting involved with the game, so I'll pass. I'm not looking. James Shields, okay, he's pitched pretty well. I'll give him the respect, but that was against Cincinnati, Minnesota, and Oakland. You get a real lineup coming here, so yeah, I don't rate Shields here.
Yeah, it looks like 75% of the tickets, 83% of the money on Houston. Again, Houston just wins. It's all they do. But you got to, there's not really value in betting a minus 350. You can get over 300 with James Shields. And when you look at him, he's, like Felix got lit up last night. Sort of that same type of pitcher now in his career, Jeff. Maybe a little bit more power early in his career. Now you're trying to figure it out and do a little bit more smoke and mirrors, more curveballs, more off-speed pitches. As they like to say, Jeff, pitching backwards. If it's a 2-0 count, you throw a breaking ball as opposed to a fastball. Just trying to outsmart the batters. But he's been pretty good over the past couple of weeks. It's just a matter of what are you really going to get? Like, what can the White Sox put up here? Can the White Sox hang 5 runs, on Charlie Morton in that bullpen to even have a chance in this ball game? That's what you're going to have to bet against. But then again, that's why that line, Jeff, is minus 350. Ed Lost Jackson back on the mound, Jeff. 921, 922. Oakland. Edwin Jackson's going to be on the mound and match up against Corey Kluber. Another massive line, Jeff. Minus 280 over under 8.5. I won't be involved in this one, but Jesus.
You missed one, Donnie. You missed Rangers Detroit.
Oh, we'll get back there. Yeah, go and hit this Oakland Cleveland game real quick. We'll get back.
I got nothing on this one. I'm not even entertaining Cleveland at 280. I'm good. Pass.
Yeah, no, that's a bad one. 919, 920, Texas and Detroit. Here's a good one, though. You got Cole Hamels on the mound, not in great form over the past couple starts. Jeff, I know you always like to look at Detroit. Detroit's well under 500. What, 10, 15 games under 500? But they are over 500, Jeff, when facing a left-handed pitcher. Hamels coming in here on the road. Sometimes, Hamels at home struggles a little bit. It seems like everybody struggles at Globe Life, similar to a Colorado Rockies situation where you just struggle going there because of the high altitude and hitting environment. Usually down at Globe Life, Jeff, hot, humid, 98 degrees on the mound. You're going to go on the road here to Detroit. 62% are going to back the road team here. Texas, Jeff, opened up at -117, -120, has backed up a little bit to -116. So you're getting a short dog on Fires. And look what Fires has done, Jeff, past couple of games here. We talk about a live dog in this situation. Let's see if Candelario is back in the lineup for the Detroit Tigers. But if they put a formidable lineup out there, Jeff, Detroit's probably the right play if you want to play a side here.
I got to tell you, Michael Fires has been fantastic.
Yes, he has.
I'll tell you what, though. It seems like he pitches like every other day, though. I feel like we were just talking about Mike Fires. Yeah, I mean, look at the last 15 innings, just 2 runs over the last 2 starts. He's been terrific. The problem that I have in this game, Donnie, you look at some of these Texas Rangers. Elvis Andreus, 353. Beltre, 438. Shin-Soo Choo, 308. Mazzara, 308. Not a lot of at-bats, but they hit him pretty well. I mean, they all have about 15 at-bats against him. They've done pretty well against him here in his career. We obviously know Detroit is good against left-handers. It's a day game. I'm kind of looking towards an over here. 2 bad bullpens. I'm looking over the number. I think we see some runs here. I'm going to rock with that. Just kind of make it easy here. I think we see runs. What else do we have here? Can we get your big game today at MLB? I don't really ever have a big game. I'll give you my favorite play. I gave out Angels yesterday. I give out something today. I'm sure Donnie will throw something to you for sure.
Yep, I'm going to throw 2 to you, Jeff, right now. 1, Washington money line, -365 at Chris. Number 2, Jeff, Houston, -350 at Chris. I like those games today.
Well, that's not going to be allowed. By the way, Donnie, can I ask you a question kind of on a tangent here?
Yeah.
Why is the Arena Football League still around?
I don't know. Yeah, it's
4 teams.
I don't know. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Are you supposed to get excited? Like, who makes this? Like, if you make the playoffs, does that mean you already play in the quote unquote Super Bowl? Do all 4 teams make the playoffs?
It's like, oh yeah, the Albany Empire play the Soul again. Like, it's like, oh, we just played them like 3 times in the last 2 weeks. Cool.
I'll say, like, it's obviously there's not a lot of sponsorship. There's probably not a lot of TV money in there. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, back when Bon Jovi owned them, in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, where the quarterback was making like 250, 300 grand a year. Like, you're making some good money. That can't be the case anymore, man. They got to be living on peanuts. I
mean, there's been so many teams that have. I mean, I looked down at the list the other day of how many.
Graziani, I believe the quarterback was Graziani.
Yeah. They have so many defunct teams, man. I mean, over the years, there's been so many defunct teams. The list is like a fucking rap sheet. It's amazing. But yeah, just something I kind of went over. But yeah, listen, we'll try to get a play here if we have one. Red Sox Royals, Donnie. Reds are saying 190. Against the Royals. Got anything here?
It's look, man. We gave up. We left the dead carcass on the road for the Royals a couple weeks back. Look, if you don't have starting pitching, stinks. If you don't have anybody that can hit outside of Moustakas, you stink. You have no bullpen help, no starting pitching help, and nothing really coming up from the minor leagues. It almost looks cheap at this point. I don't like David Price. I think David Price, not the best pitcher, more living off of that name than not. But you're going to tell me in this game, if we get a full go lineup for the Red Sox, that even at, I don't take these games. I can't give these games out to my players because anybody can give these games out. But, you're going to tell me that Casey's going to rise up and beat Boston tonight? Like, what would even be your angle in this one, Jeff?
Settle down, Dave McKenna. McKenna going at people in his message there. Settle down, McKenna. What's that all about, Donnie?
Wait, was he giving out AFL games? Is that what he was doing?
Yeah, he used to give them out. McKenna.
No, the AFL was very affluent about 10, 15 years ago.
No, even
NBC was live their noon games on Sunday, that was their crown jewel trying to build the league up. You had superstar owners. What did you have? Like Kiss owned the team in LA. You had Bon Jovi in Philadelphia owned the Soul. Pimped it everywhere he went, every TV show, every concert. He had a Soul shirt on, and then it just fell off the wagon.
I actually used to, like a year or two ago, I bet the AFL. It was actually pretty fun. But yeah, it just kind of disappeared. Donnie, I'll tell you what though, this is another game, Royals Red Sox, where I'm not as quick to lay the big price.
I don't know. I just don't see anything on. Look, I'm not going to be in play on this game either way, but I can't be in play on Kansas City. I just can't.
And I get it. Kansas City's a bad team. They're one of the worst in baseball. They don't all of a sudden they don't hit anymore. But you look at Brad Keller, and Brad Keller's been very good. I mean, this might be the one pitcher down the road that the Royals are pretty excited about. I mean, 6 starts, I'm sorry. He's only given up 8 earned runs over 33 2/3. He's been pretty good, actually. He faced some good lineups, too, Donnie. I mean, he faced Houston, Seattle, the Angels. Last 3 starts, Seattle, Angels, Houston. 21 innings, only 4 earned runs. I mean, it's not like David Price is pitching pretty good right now. I mean, he had that
He's not dreadful game. He's more name than anything to me.
A gun to my head, I think there's some spots today where the public will be jumping in on. I mean, Donnie, let me ask you, could I go 0-2 taking Kansas City and the Marlins? Yeah, but to me, I get plus money on both. I mean, I might take a shot there. I don't know if at home. I mean, Brad Keller's been pretty good. I mean, this could be a low-scoring game where this game's won late and it's a wild one. So just remember that stuff. Just remember when I said, the Royals and the Marlins. I mean, they could both lose, but rock with it.
925, 926, Jeff. Here's an interesting one. Tampa Bay is going to send out Snell, one of the better pitchers in baseball this year. Pretty much top 5, no doubt about it. Looking to go in against Steven Matz, who's been decent, especially at home. The lefty, 71% of the tickets are going to be on Tampa Bay in this one, Jeff. Opened up at 129, 130. Seeing a little bit of movement now. When it was dipping back in the mid-120s, now you're seeing it 134 at Chris. I always have a key that I like to look at, Jeff, when we're sliding down to take a look at whether or not you can bet on the Tampa Bay Rays. I like to bet them at home because I think it's a sneaky, sleepy type environment. But the one thing that I do need from their team on a night-to-night basis, and you lose it sometimes when you come over to a National League ballpark, if they don't have both Wilson Ramos and C.J. Cron in the lineup, I'm out because it doesn't have very much pop out of there. I know they're 2 guys that don't, they're not speed guys, but if you're going to give me at least a decent contact hitter with some power, I need both of those guys in my lineup. Kevin Kiermaier out there, similarly this year like a Byron Buxton. Unbelievable on defense, can't get out of his own way. And when you're starting a leadoff hitter, Jeff, and he's hitting 150, that tends to stagnate your entire offense when your leadoff hitter can't get on base. But going through there, looks like the estimated lineup today or the future lineup, Ramos batting 4th, Cron batting 6th. That should be a decent play in there. But do you want to just go? I guess, Jeff, it would just be your fade. So you know what? Last night the Mets won. The Mets are sneaky at home, if you even want to say it there. But I can't lay against, it's a left-handed pitcher on the mound. We know the Mets do more damage from the left-handed side typically. Snell's amazing, and he's in a pitcher's ballpark. I don't see the Mets getting too many runs here in this one.
Yeah, look, real quick, as far as other handicappers, I see people talking about other handicappers. Listen, we're the best. That's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about anyone else. I'm not talking about Teddy. I'm not talking about Ian Cameron. I'm not talking about any other one. I support myself. I support Donnie. I support what we're doing. No one else pays my bills. No one else is in my corner. If I asked them for $100, they probably wouldn't give me it. I wish them nothing but the best. I hope they do well. But I have nothing bad to say about anyone. I'm staying where I'm at. I'm in my lane.
Why would he give you $100, Jeff? Come on.
Well, he actually might, but you know what I'm saying. The only people I really and look, I don't really communicate with those guys. The only people I really talk to at SBR other than you, Donnie, is Ian, Drew, and Gabe. I mean, I got close.
And Nigel Sealy.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the soccer guys as well. Nigel and Natalie and those guys. I really enjoy their company. But as far as everyone else at the channel, I don't talk to. We don't see them. We don't live in Costa Rica or anything. So I'm not going to say that I'm on board with every person at SBR, but for the most part, I like what everybody's doing for the most part. What else do we got here? Thanks, SBR Forum. Love you too. Who is SBR Forum, by the way? Is that a?
I think it's Zach. I think it's Zach's burner account.
Is that a burner account? Well, he's being nice to me, so it might not be him. I don't know who that is. Is that Drew from SPR4? I don't know. Either way, thanks for checking in, man. No, I'm just saying in context. I don't think, if I needed something, I don't think they'd be there for me. But yeah, as far as this game, I mean, Snell's been so good, hasn't he? I mean, Steven Matz, when healthy, he's been fine. I mean, average 3.40 ERA kind of guy. I mean, Donnie, how can you bet against Blake Snell against the Mets? I mean, that just seems like a shutout for the Mets, right?
Yeah, Mets struggled. I mean, that seems like they always struggle. I actually like the line. Since Nimmo's been back off the DL, he's been horrendous when he was like a prodigy for 3 weeks before that. Frazier, Cabrera, Flores, Conforto, decent batters in there. Joey Bats, Plawecki in the lineup doesn't add much. Ahmad Rosario is still waiting to see what he's going to do. But you're right. Looking at it overall, Snell, again, he's going to get the pitcher. He's not pitching in the American League. You figure he should be able to work in and out here, especially in a pitcher's ballpark. But again, I can't take Tampa Bay, Jeff, unless I see Crone and Ramos in the lineup. If they both go in the lineup, I'm probably going to take a decent. And again, it's a square play. It is to take Tampa Bay with Snell on the mound. But look, sometimes it's just right, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in the Mets ever. So, yeah, I don't disagree with you at all there.
Jeff, out on the West Coast, 4 o'clock game, so 1 o'clock start here. Colorado and Seattle. Colorado blew up King Felix, which is not that, hard to do anymore to hit the King at this point. But Colorado sort of built for that American League ballpark because they do have hitters upon hitters upon hitters that can match up. You're not just throwing in some, 160 hitter as your DH that some National League teams actually do in American League ballparks. Freeland and Paxton. Freeland's been really good this year. I know it's Big Maple on the mound. I know the big lefty can dominate out there, but they're going to have a puncher's chance in this one. And anytime you're looking at opening up at -168, -170, that line now sits at -190 at Intertops. That's a high price to pay. I love Paxton. I love the Mariners. I like when the Mariners play at home, but sometimes it has to match up there because Freeland has been pretty damn good this year, Jeff.
Yeah, both these pitchers have been very good, and that obviously is the reason the total is at 7. 13 of 17 have gone under when Kyle Freeland pitches. It's an interesting game, though. Both these teams good against lefties. You have 2 southpaws on the mound here. Look, I'm not stepping in front of either of these. I'll pass. I don't see any value on this game.
Yeah, I mean, just 35% of the tickets coming in. I'd like to see how that comes out. Again, it determines a lot if you're going to have the starting lineups in there, if they're going to be full go. I mean, look, Nolan Arenado sits it out. Maybe you take a question mark because, just as much as how hot he is at the plate, the dude steals everything on the left side of the infield. He's an amazing third baseman. Last game of the night, Jeff, Chicken Strip's going to be on the mound, 9:29, 9:30. Seen the crime last night, but here, Jeff, now this is a tough one. Look, has Stripling been lights out his past couple starts that he has been for most of the year? No. But what are you going to get out of my man Deck McGuire on the mound against a full-go Dodgers lineup as you're anticipating in this 7 o'clock Eastern time start, 4 o'clock start out west, 4:15 actually. 68% of the tickets, Jeff, going to come back on the Dodgers again. Looks like they want more hurting out there. But look, dude, Deck McGuire's on the mound. Are we back in Deck McGuire here at this number, Jeff?
Hell no. Deck McGuire's an absolute mug. Yeah, listen, I love the Dodgers on the run line in this game. I'm on them here. I love Stripling. I've been talking about this guy for weeks. I love what this kid's doing. I think he's an all-star. I really believe that. I think he has been fantastic. The problem with Stripling is he's not winning games. For some reason, when he pitches, they don't win games. But they should be able to hit Deck McGuire. I get a feeling this is going to be one of those bullpen games for the Angels. I think it's going to just really hurt your rotation here. Give me Stripling, give me the run line, give me the Dodgers. Last game of the day. That'd be my favorite.
Yeah, stocked up here. Those 4 o'clock games, definitely going to want to take a look at. I know there's some value sitting out there. You're going to take a look at maybe Snell, who, again, is going to be a really public side today. We'll see how that lineup ends up. The lineup ends up on both sides of the table there. Also, I think there is still some value in that Colorado game, which is an early start out on the West Coast. Robbie Ray laying again 200, which is kind of an anomaly here. That's going to be a late game at 10 o'clock. What are you going to get out of Wilkerson for the Milwaukee Brewers in this one? Is this one you see, hey, if there's a half-go lineup for Milwaukee, maybe take Atlanta or vice versa in that one. And again, getting some movement here, Jeff, in that other 4 o'clock game, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh with Arrieta and Tyone on the mound. Opened up at 123, 110 at Chris. We're now seeing some 130s pop up. So despite the public support on the Philadelphia Phillies today, Jeff, the money coming in on the Pirates, those are ones we're going to keep an eye on today and see where we can go.
Settle down, Vasconcelos. I don't have a big one in MLB. I don't sell picks for MLB. I like LA. That would be my favorite. Donnie, will Croatia win today?
I believe Croatia will win today, but I don't advise, Jeff, taking them on the money line. I advise taking them on the Asian handicap today.
I'll tell you what, the as far as the goals are concerned in this game, it's only a 2. I would imagine that both these teams are going to attack each other. I'm not sure Russia can just sit back and defend like they did in the last game. I'd imagine Croatia will be at them. They'll be going at them. Over 2 might have some value in this game. But that'll be it, guys, for the show. We'll wrap it up, Donnie. Any side notes that we have here? I mean, we embark on a Saturday here.
Nice Saturday up on the East Coast, but no, looking forward to it. Jeff was saying earlier about a couple of vacation days that we have. Not going to miss much there because it's going to be all-star break. So that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be off the air. There ain't be jack to talk about anyway. If you want me and the big man on campus to come down and break down some, whack WNBA card for 15 minutes, it's really not worth its time and wait. Or maybe we can break down, Jeff, the second half of Major League Baseball season in the middle of the summer. That would bring in listeners by the thousands. But no, it's better to have a couple of days off, recharge up, and once that game gets going, once Major League Baseball gets going back on that Friday, I believe Friday the 20th, I want to say 19th or 20th, whatever day that is, we'll be back in play with the Major League Baseball card, but that's not going to come for at least another week. So we got another week to have some fun, Jeff, and bring you all the vital news and information here on sportsbookreview.com.
By the way, shout out to my man Ferk and Korkmaz, 40 points.
40
in the summer league. It might be your next big time shooter for the Sixers. They sure need one. Zaire Smith was horrendous last night, which is no surprise. I mean, I'm telling you, Zaire Smith is a complete reach. I mean, I don't know what on earth you were thinking doing that deal because you haven't traded for anyone. Donnie, let me ask you, do you think right now Sixers are looking at that trade and thinking, what the fuck did we do? We had
No, because whether or not the Sixers make a trade in the summer or at the deadline, they're going to be players for free agency next year. Sixers are going to probably be the overall at worst in the East, the 3 seed, probably looking at the 2 seed in the East. And that depends on still if they make a trade. Because you saw the rumors coming out again last night. Yeah, Kawhi Leonard's probably only going to move to the Sixers. If not, he's probably just going to stick on the bench in San Antonio. So we'll see what happens.
I hate the Berkshire bubble. They are not beating Boston. It's not going to happen.
Well, I'm not saying Boston. I'm just saying, at worst, the 3rd or the 2nd seed. So,
but I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked Bridges. Am I playing virtual soccer? No, not right now. Maybe later. I killed it last night with it, though. All right, let's wrap it up here. 12:01. Everyone have a great day. I'm going to go out and jet ski here. So everyone have a great day. Donnie, you enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. Well, we're off tomorrow. We're back Monday, 10 o'clock Eastern. Join us for that. So right side of campus. Everyone have a great weekend. Bye-bye.